Today, let's talk to all you small business owners. How do you increase your business and your small business with your customers? How do you get more money? How do you grow consistently? Well, the first thing I always ask is, show me your sales process. And everybody looks at me and goes, why? What does that have to do with anything? Well, your sales process is your roadmap, how you're going to serve the customer. And if you serve them well, you're going to be super successful. So the first thing we need to do is look at your sales process and make sure it's identifying and answering the 5 buying decisions that the customers have. That's right, 5 buying decisions. Now here's the deal. You get them out of order or you don't answer them, guess what's going to happen? You'll become a commodity. And the only differentiating factor is price when it comes to commodity. So if I've hit a nerve, stay tuned. We're going to walk through some things of the sales process and how you engage the customer to help you succeed and move forward. So every customer comes in and the first buying decision is the salesperson, the first person they meet. That is a salesperson. Whether it's customer service, whether it's a barista, whoever it is, you need to be selling to the customer and answering the first buying decision, which is the salesperson. And if you're a barista or whatever it is, customer service doesn't matter, you're selling to the customer. That's right. And you have to answer the 3 questions they have that they're going to ask on every interaction. Whether it's warranty department, service, customer service, salesperson, they're going to ask the same questions. Do I like you? Do I trust you? How can you help me? So we need to make sure we're answering those on every interaction. And that's what the sales process does for you. It lines you up to be customer focused and actually engage the customer. Now, I also teach in my program how to go through the house analogy and update your CRM correctly so you can use that in all your departments. It will help your whole team greatly succeed when you're engaging them and updating your CRM correctly, which is a customer relationship management tool. But we need to have that so everybody's engaging it, learning about the customer. Because when we're customer focused and learning about them, how we can add value to them, we're going to be super successful. Now, we need to find out 3 kinds of questions from the customer if we're going to help them. And that is, what's their situation, what are the issues, and what are the ramifications if we don't get those issues resolved? Because that's what they're trying to figure out. They need to have a resolution to their issues, because if they don't, something bad could happen. So we need to make sure that we're answering those for them. Because if we don't get those answers, how the heck can we actually supply the right solution? There's tons of products out there like ours. We need to make sure we're hitting the mark. So in the first buying decision, we got a lot of work. It's like building a house. You don't have a solid foundation, the roof and the walls are going to collapse on top of you. So we need to make sure that we're doing things right if we're going to succeed with them. Now, here's some other things we can do outside of the sales process. We need to be constantly investing in our teams, because if people are growing together and learning together, well, they're going to help our business grow too. We got to have a great culture of learning. So outside of the sales process, we need to be doing at least 1 training a year. We get people off the computers, off of the emails, so they can learn together, whether it's different departments, but people need to be together and learn together. When I first got into sales, that's what our CEO would do, is he'd actually bring in sales trainers and all that stuff to actually train us. And then 9 times out of 10, they'd say the same things he did. But because it came from another trainer, they actually took it as gospel and they learned from it. And we grew. Even in the recessions, we were actually growing. He knew that this would happen because the more you hear it from different people, the more it becomes truth. So we need to have at least 1 training a year, bringing someone in to actually train our teams. We also need to make sure that they're sitting down and debriefing after these trainings. Why? Well, all the top performers do this. Football athletes, They go through the game film to see where they got messed up and how they can overachieve it the next time so they're better. Navy SEALs do this as well. They go through and review and do debriefs after missions and practices so they can actually become faster and more efficient. That's why they're super successful people, right? We need to be doing that with our teams after these trainings. We also need to be taking the people outside of that debrief and that training, hold them back for maybe a day to do a competitive training as well. That's right, we need to be studying our competition. What are they doing? How are they selling? What are their new products? How do we sell against them? And we need to train each other. Have the salespeople or whoever it is train each other, because the best way for us to learn is to actually train. So we need to make sure that we're doing that. Have them go in there and learn from each other. Because as iron sharpens iron, so do we sharpen ourselves and get better as we learn together. Okay? We should also be supplementing those trainings with books or podcasts that we're reviewing on a consistent basis and talking about in our meetings. Maybe 5 to 10 minutes every week to actually learn about what we're growing in. Because as everybody grows, they get better and you develop a great culture. Now, all that to say is we got to do a lot of training and we have to define our culture to make sure that it's one of growth. It also needs to be customer focused. That's why I keep saying that you got to have a sales process. Because if we serve the customer well, and after they reward us with buying our product or service, and we serve them after the sale, make them super successful, guess what's going to happen? They're going to go and tell everybody else about how awesome the experience was with us. And that's what people are buying, is pretty much the experience doing business with us and how this solution helped them. It's like when we went to a great restaurant, had so good service. We couldn't wait to tell other people to go see that server and everything and go to that restaurant because it was super successful. Counter to that, have you ever bought anything from somebody you couldn't stand? No. So we need to make sure that we're customer focused and adding value to them and supporting them after the sale. If so, they will actually sell for us. It'd be like farming, where you cultivate the ground, you plant the seeds and everything. Eventually, you have a huge harvest that you're going to be able to feed more people. That's what we need to do. Focusing on the customer and our culture to grow, and we'll be super successful. Now, if you have any questions about the sales process, how to create one, feel free to reach out. My contact information is below. If you like this video and it's helpful, hit like, share, subscribe, send to somebody you think it might help. That's why I do these videos, is to help you. See you next time.